that business flopped. So I didn't make anything there. I didn't make any of my previous company.
$20.
Yeah, $20. So 50 or like $49, something like that. I remember getting that check in the mail and I'm like, this is it? This is it. And that's when I said I'm done, you know. I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I was about to go back into nursing.
But that's the thing though, because like a lot of people like I bet you like we'll hear from Fred too. It's like when people meet, like for now, let's say I invited someone based off Fred, like I can't do this because like, oh, you've been here and you've been successful already, that's why you're making that money. But everybody doesn't see, like, you know, it's not an over like you join, you make money, right?
That's right. No one sees. Yeah. You know, that's the thing, you know. People that we meet, you know, they see us as we are now, you know, the stuff that we do, but they don't know yet. And that's what's cool about what we're doing here. And people get to see what we've done.
Yeah, with the real uncensored.
This really uncensored, you know, like it's real talk. This real talk.
All right, so let's switch gears, and I want to know Fred, because the thing is, like, a lot of the people are listening right now, like, you know, they already know Fred as FEG. Like, I mean, we kind of know Fred's background a little bit, because you know we've been hanging out and things like that, but nobody really knows, like, you know, how you started.
Yeah,
because it's, you know, the thing is like we had the same similarities.
Yep.
That, you know, our moms did this before us, so it's either you love it or you love it. You kind of hate it. You have to love it. So you know, you was also, you know, from what we heard too, is like, you know, 6 years old, you're already doing this because your mom has been doing this business.
Yeah, it's been a while. So we'll start at 6. Let me see. My mom was doing this business. She was with Primerica during that time. Before that, she worked as a teller for First Interstate Bank.
Oh, okay.
That used to be there, but not anymore. On Wilshire.
Yeah,
across the street from like Koreatown, like that.
So you were living.
So we lived in Glendale.
So
Glendale.
The nice Wilshire.
More like that side, like not Wilshire going Beverly Hills. But during that time, it was the 80s. It was nice. Everything was clean. Glendale was like no Armenians. I mean,
oh man, I can't even picture that.
All these white people. We came here in 1984, and we lived in Glendale until like I went to high school. But during that time, you know, it was a struggle. Like my mom did Primerica, and let me see, she did it.
So in your eyes at 6, it's like it's just a work.
Yeah, I just thought it was normal, like a normal job. I just remember like every weekend we drive, and it's like you think it's a family trip, but it's not. It's like we're going to Salinas to close deals, or like King City, like where all the Filipinos are, like that, worked at the farms. And she would close at $25 a month sale.
I mean, that's time. So
yeah, it was pretty big.
That's big. Yeah,
like 4 or 5 sales that night. And I remember like me and my sister like, dude, we're so tired. But she'd still close until like 10, something like that. And you know, she'd probably come out with $100 premium.
Okay.
Weekend. So then, you know, since we get that, like we'll have like good dinner or something. You know, something like a treat.
Did you have the same?
Childhood? Well, I mean, my mom's been doing it for 25 years now, and she would tell me like I was born into the industry. She would say when she was in a meeting, I was already in a what do you call it? The car seat. I was in a car seat while she was in a meeting. So it was the same thing for me. Like my mom was doing that. My dad was doing real estate at that same time. So
they're both on sales. That's the thing. Mine is different. My dad's an engineer. His job was like, he'd wake up at 4 a.m. like every day.
So he's like a typical dad. Like it's just, I'm working. You know?
Yeah. And during that time, like when we were younger, my mom didn't have a license. So my dad comes home from work. And he has an appointment. He has to drive.
Yes, so he has to drive her.
The whole family has to go.
So that's why you're dating.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like that. It's crazy. It just reminded me when you were talking. I'm like, man, we came from a long ways. But like fast forward, you know, I never thought I was gonna do this business. Basically, this business is I grew up with it. My mom's been doing this since all the time I remember. You know, in high school, I played football, played basketball. I wanted to play actually for NFL. That didn't happen because college was a tougher thing for me. It's not like high school. You have all, because it's all the best people in high school who go to a college. And when you get there, you're not really the best. You know, you're like only that school. But so it is an interesting situation. During that time, my dreams kind of changed. So spoke to my mom. She's like, well, why don't you just, it's either you can be a nurse. No one's a nurse in our family. Yeah. Or you can be an engineer. My dad's like, yeah, you'll make money, engineer. So I did that, but I didn't want to do electrical engineer. That's what he did. I want to do like something else, like programming or something, because I thought that's where the money is during that time. So I mean, tech
industry at the time too.
Yeah, that was booming.
It was like, so I did a computer science engineer degree, graduated 2001. It took me almost 5 years to graduate, actually. Well, not 2002, I'm sorry. And the reason why is because I kind of partied a lot. It was just fun. Like during college,
because you were playing ball too, right?
Yeah, in college, I played first year, but after I stopped playing, I worked for Bally's Total Fitness. I was a personal trainer.
Oh,
yeah, it was there. I looked different there. I was just like all like worked out. All I did was work out. But yeah, dude, during that time, like I still wanted to pursue the dream of playing football. Even though
so still like sports was your target.
Yeah. So the 4th year of my college life, I wanted to quit. Like I was like, I don't want to be an engineer. I need to change my career. There's nothing I wanted to do. I said maybe I want to be in business or something. And the reason why I remember doing that is because when I used to be younger, I don't know if you guys drive down to the 10. You know how you can see downtown LA, the Staples Center. You see those big buildings.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's T. Rowe Price or
Yeah.
something.
Yep. I mean, as a kid too, like I always like think like wearing suits, like it's cool.
That was my dream. Like, I looked down, like I want an office there. And I was like, being a businessman is that's what you want to be.
But it never came to your mind like insurance, like what's your mom doing?
Like, I was like a business person. So either like some type of in a suit, like you said. But yeah, I went, you know, during the time college was like, I didn't get a full ride. We tried to apply for a loan, but we couldn't. I was like wondering, like during the time I didn't understand, like how come I can't get like a loan, you know, like
everybody's getting a student loan.
Yeah, everyone got a student loan and my mom's paying this thing. It's like big, you know, all upfront money. And then I was just like, man, I felt guilty. Like I gotta graduate, you know, like some of my friends are just hanging out because it's a student loan. But I did, I graduated. After that, I was looking for a job in the tech field. It took almost a year. I actually gave up in 6 months looking for a job. I put all my resumes to like Linux, Cisco, IBM, everybody, all the places, Microsoft. 6 months later, no calls, nothing. The only one that called me was AT&T, but I was like, I don't know what for them.
Yeah.
So I went to the fire department and I applied to become a fireman.
Oh,
that's tough, right? You have to have a connection for that.
Yeah, so
how did that go with your mom?
She didn't want it.
I'm gonna be firefighter.
Yeah, she didn't want that. I did the test, the physical. I was ready to go. And then Microsoft calls for a better offer.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, I'll work there. Microsoft gave me $75 a year salary start.
And this was what year? What year was this?
Like 2002.
See, that's pretty good for 2002, right?
Well, that was during a recession too.
Yeah, 75.
Yeah, and I got lucky. And the reason why is because, you know, in my resume, you know, I just told them like what languages I knew, C++, all the stuff that we went through. And during that time, I was like really into it. So I worked there. I was one of the managers for a team that we did a lot of projects, like all the scripts for like Server 2003 that came out. We were trying to work that already. So we had that mainframe.
And usually it's like you guys are always ahead of time. Like they release their version, but you have already like 4 or 5 versions.
Because there's so much bugs.
Yeah.
During that time too, like Microsoft came out with like all the XLs and everything. So what we would do is we would send so those programs to like companies to run them in their business, and then what we do is we call like the quality control, and they tell us what's wrong, what's missing,
then you fix it.
Yeah, then it comes back and we just change the whole thing.
So along that way, like, were your mom ever kind of like planted seed? Like,
no, she stopped. I mean, like after I got my degree, she was like, go ahead, you know, that's your thing. It was weird because when I worked at Microsoft, it was like 2 computers. You have your own desk. Everyone has a cubicle. you know, everyone had like cartoon stuff on their thing, you know, like the animation.
Yeah, animations.
And then my desk is like empty. Like I don't have anything on there.
Yeah.
Just computers. And then they would always hang out, like play, like they had game party
Yeah.
nights, game nights. I don't know what they.
Yeah.
Like well, I was never like that. That's why I was like thinking maybe it's not me. You know, like I just felt really off. That's the one reason why.
So it came to like a point like you just literally just go there to work and get paid.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was like, and it was this, a lot of times like I'd start work at 6 a.m. because we would deal with East Coast sometimes, so they're 3 hours ahead. By 9 o'clock, you need to be like ready to go. Well, most of the people, like they'll email everything and they'll send you all like what's wrong with some of the programs that instead of building one, we would have to redo everything. So that's why there's updates that come in.
Yeah.
So those updates have all the patches. We would make the patches for all the things that's missing or what's wrong with it. It was crazy.
So how long you did that? 2, 3?
About 2 years.
And then after that, you quit your job and
no. So on the second year, I was just like unhappy. I didn't like what I was doing, and then my daughter's coming out soon, so I'm like, can't do this. Like they made me work like Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. So I was like, I can't do this. It was like something that I can't do. I don't like it. This is not my thing.
Yeah.
Like I have to.
and you don't see your daughter.
Yeah,
growing up
during that time. So I'm like, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I talked to my mom. She's like, why don't you do this business? It's doing good. And I noticed like she started doing a lot better. My mom was like, my sisters are both in college during that time. The one went to San Francisco State, and one is in CSUN, and it's a full, like, she paid for that. There's no full ride on that. Like, that's all.
No student loans, no nothing.
Nothing, yeah, just cash. They both have brand new cars. I'm like, dude, like, how can you afford that?
Yeah, how can you do this?
Have a kid,
So that one was like your turning point.
that was my,
So you're the one who came out and asked about the business. It wasn't like your mom told you, like for us, like, oh, you have to.
You got.
No, yeah, at first she was like a long time ago, like before I got my degree, because she was like, I don't really have a desire to get one, but she was like, do the business. Then I was like, no, it's okay, I'll do my own. So she'll do whatever you want to do. Then later on, that's when I decided, when I became like a father, I was like, dude, I need more money and more time with my family. So that was the thing that was like, that changed everything. So at that time, I asked her, and I went to a BOP. The BOP was in Eagle Rock. It was.
So you asked her just to check it out.
Yeah, she's all. It's a Tuesday night.
A Tuesday night, yeah. The typical Tuesday night.
On Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eagle Rock, and I was like, okay, cool. I went there, and it was a guy.
But you already had like an idea.
I did. I knew it was life insurance. I just didn't know, like, that's not me. During the time, I think I was like 24, 23, something like that. And I was like, I can't do that. So my mom said, just look at it. There's different ways to do it. I'm not going to push you. Just take a look. So I looked at it. And Gil Dia, I don't know.
Oh, I do. I do.
He is the one that did the presentation. And he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to talk. He talked about a lot of stuff that I was like, dude, that makes sense, like this is cool. So when I got interested, I was like, I told my mom, and she's like, she said, she got all excited. And I was like, yeah.
It doesn't matter the rest.
It's crazy. So she's like, there's a convention coming up in Vegas.
Okay.
So that was a similar story.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. So I went. It's funny because it was on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think, during that time. But Monday was my
you have to go back to work.
Test.
Oh.
To get my license.
Oh, to get your license.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, so you went really fast. Like,
yeah, I went quick. I did the Golden
Heights.
Yeah.
So they were still here. They've been there for a long time.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So I got my test. The first time I was like so scared. Like when I went there, I was like, I didn't study. I was in Vegas the whole time. Like for the convention. So I was like,
plus it's Vegas.
Yeah, and plus it's Vegas. I think I like barely passed, but I passed. I was like, I passed. But, yeah, that was when I looked at it, and then my mom's like, okay, you got your license. Conseco is what we used to sell. Your mom knows Conseco.
Yep.
So my mom sent me to Conseco for almost 2 weeks. It was only for secretaries.
This was directed to the headquarters.
Yeah, like actual home office.
So your couple of months or days is all trainings.
Yeah. I got fortunate, man. Like it was a different start for me. They sent me to the home office. The home office had like a special 2-week training for assistants and secretaries.
Okay.
I was the only guy. It was crazy. Like I was like, dude, I'm the only dude here.
So your training was like traditional, like an employee type training, like
Yeah.
the back end stuff.
Yeah, all like the administration, all the
Not more of like, you know,
Not
like, I
sales.
guess like
Not
this,
sales.
yeah, like yours, like
Yeah.
training was like networking.
Yeah, mine
sales.
was networking sales,
Not
getting it out to the
products,
people.
yeah.
No products.
No, my boss sent me there. Like I would know how to file everything. I would know how to put all.
Well, at least you got kind of your dream, right? You're wearing suits and you're going to a
Yeah,
bank
it was
and
crazy. It was cool. Like what kind of attracted me was because Conseco during that time was one of the biggest insurance companies,
Yes.
and they owned Indiana Pacers Stadium. So every time they had it during the 2 weeks, I think there was 3 games. We had courtside, and it's like, and the suite was all you can eat.
So at least you kind of still kind of like your dream, but you're not on the field, but
Yeah.
on the other end side of that.
Yeah. Basically, I knew what Tita Dina would do. Like their secretaries would know how to run illustrations, run all the applications.
Oh, man.
I basically went through that whole thing, that training, and how to follow up.
Did you ever like question yourself, like?
During that time, I enjoyed it, man. I was just like, this is kind of cool.
Because it's
And I,
something
like-
different from.
Yeah, and I met like the secretaries, like they're like telling me their life, and I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah, I don't want to do
be
that.
Your boss.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I was
yeah,
thinking in my head, like, how do I become the boss? You know? But it was really cool. Like my experience was cool that first month or 2 that I started the business. After that, like I got sent to LSW. I think I went to LSW, Texas.
Oh, so you did go straight to LSW.
They did a launch. Oh, I was in Chicago. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That was
a Chicago.
way different experience than like other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
You were in the carrier side, like.
Yeah, I learned. Okay, before the recruiting, the BOP, I used to do all the product training. I knew like
The ins and outs.
how much things cost.
Yeah, the
everything.
ledger, everything.
When I went to LSW, they sent me there. Like I was actually it was kind of cool because they launched what was that? Not Paragon, but the one before Paragon. Do you guys remember?
No, I don't.
Is it LSW or National?
LSW. It was the
And
first
was that
benefits
time
product.
that the time that they're still not together? Or?
Yeah, it was during that
Oh,
time. It's separate.
got it.
It was LSW was only in Dallas,
It was only in Dallas.
and then National Life was in Vermont.
Yeah. Yep.
But they were still part of it, but separate. I forgot the product. It was before Paragon. There was a product that came out with the living benefits, and that product only had 3 indexes. You know, like you only had.
So it's like
fixed
the
index,
first you experienced the first like living
Yeah.
benefit product.
and they had like a big finale in Chicago. We stayed at the W Hotel right on the thing.
So at that time you were doing all this training, so you're not doing any sales. So you're kind of like getting paid salary.
No, I didn't get paid anything. I lived off of my savings. During that time.
From
Yo, that's a big leap of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I basically saved money from Microsoft. I didn't have a mortgage during that time. During that time, I was married. I was already married. Me
Then
and
you
my
have your
wife,
kid. Yeah.
yeah, me and my wife lived in my mom's house. So we were just like, my mom lived. They lived like another city over. And
Yeah.
it was like an investment house.
So how long was that training?
For LSW, it was only like a week or 2, but we did all they did all the numbers, the charts, how they even, what made them think of living benefits. I met the guy
That created. Wow.
everything.
Wow.
I was crazy. Like they were saying like why it's such a big market.
That's a great experience.
it was
'Cause that-
really-
like for us, like that's a product already. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to learn what it is.
It's crazy because I went to Chicago and they made a big deal of it. Before that, it was kind of hard to sell. Like me and Jamie Petranovich came in the same time.
So you grew. Yeah, that's why you said you grew up together.
Yeah, so he was on the other side. Like I was learning like the back office side. He was already doing sales.
He was already doing sales.
Tom Howell put him under him and not put him under him, but taught him how to do
Under
sales.
his wing, pretty
Yeah, under
much.
his wing. And
Yeah.
he was like
The mentor. Yeah.
yeah, and he was also Tom was trying to mentor me, but during that time I was like doing all the home office stuff, but he was making money. I'm like, dude, how are you making money? And he's like, during that time there was Massachusetts General.
So
Yes.
that was like your awakening, like
Yeah.
on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, and then Jamie is a business major, in San
Oh,
Jose.
but he's a business major.
So he's like, got in there. I'm like, oh, cool. We're the same age and everything.
Yeah.
Same thing. We all like, we love like, because I met him in Vegas that weekend. But he was making money. I was like, how come I'm not? So what they learned is they knew how to. Massachusetts Gen was bought out by Conseco, and the client that had all the Massachusetts Gen clients, they had the list of it, and Tom Howell taught Jamie how to convert it, and you get paid full commission.
Yeah.
Conseco policy. So he was just calling
nonstop.
Yeah, they were like, he was making like, I think he said he was making like 15,000.
So how did you start your first sale then?
My mom, she gave me a lot of them. I mean, like,
so you gave you a list, like called.
No, yeah, the first year, she gave me all her old clients, like files. So I called them all the Primerica clients. But a lot of them were like, they call her, and then she would say, "Come with me. We'll do a split sale. You do the presentation, I'll do the application." Like, okay, cool, I'll do the presentation. And I started getting a little bit better at it. And then she's like, okay, now you have to do the presentation.
So did you add couple like rejection? Because because from what I'm seeing is like, if you're from the back office and you know the product, your approach is more like theory stuff.
Calculations.
Numbers.
That's why I always put the numbers. You can see like how come they can afford that. And it's just all the numbers when they calculate that formula, it all automatically comes in because actuarians already pre-calculated their life.
So was your rejection at first too was because of that? Because I know you have your engineering background too, so it's all about numbers. So if I'll meet A's, I'm more of like, I have to explain you the numbers.
Yeah.
You know? And then for the other on his side,
we're like what are you talking about? Yeah. There's too much numbers.
I had to learn a lot of stuff. Like I had to figure out like how to explain the numbers without being too complicated. Like it still has to be caught by the client. There was a lot of like, mistakes and stuff that I needed to learn. There's times that people denied it. I mean, there's a couple of says no.
So you found your way around like what will be effective for you. So you learned the sales part more of like on the actual thing already. Not like I guess for you learned it because that was a training.
Yeah, that was the training.
So all sales like building things like that, like.
See what a lot like that's actually one of the things I wanted to do because actually I want to share something of like what I was doing in sales. Who taught you how to sell all these products, like how to sell it to a client?
Yeah.
Did you just learn that from a normal meeting, or did your mom teach?
I think it's like, to be honest, sometimes I feel like it's natural, like for some people.
Yeah.
And you just kind of know how to enhance it.
Yes.
But you can learn. Learning is different. It's like more of if you do decide to, in sales, it's like, this is how I look at it. It's like when you're dating somebody or you're trying to date someone, you're basically selling yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
if you're good at doing that, you can probably sell anything.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And for me, I feel like I already had the sales background. Like you were saying, like in college, I remember, I don't know if you remember in the campus, they would have the AT&T like credit cards.
Yeah.
And you do like, you can make $10 each.
Yeah,
I went nuts on that. I'm like, I'm gonna do a bunch. But I, during that time, I was like, that was easy. You make $10 a credit card. But I think sales just came natural. The reason why I think it did is because I love talking to people. I mean, it was like, I was not an engineer in mind. I just forced myself to be an engineer.
Plus you developed that passion already because learning the products and things like that.
Yeah, I believed it in my head, like. The products make so much sense, and then the way they calculate, I'm like, this is real. Like this is so, like, why wouldn't you buy it? It doesn't make sense to me if you say no to it. Every time I come into a client's home, I would always have that mindset, like, why would you not buy it?
Yeah, why would you buy it? Yeah.
Like what's stopping you? Like
I always like going back to sales. I remember now. It's like I would go in there and be like, this is sold already. Like this is a sold deal.
So you already had a mentality.
Yeah.
So your mentality was they are gonna buy.
Yeah.
I'm stopping at home, they're gonna buy.
Yeah, mine is like going in there, I know they're gonna buy it, we just gotta figure out what you can afford.
Okay.
Like
that's a good approach.
How about you? Like was your parent did your mom like talk to you, like sales?
See when you said natural, when my mom is I would say she's a natural.
Yeah.
If you sit her in a room with someone, right, that person's gonna get sold on something. I don't know what that something is, but she's gonna sell something to that person.
Yeah.
So that's how my mom was. So for me, I had the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit from her. So what I did is I asked her, "Can I shadow you a little bit on how you do your sales?" So she, I just do a little bit of sales. But in this company, in FEG, it was a little bit different. She went, "I'm not gonna do anything. She's like, you're gonna go out."
So it's just like a true to the water. And
Yeah. Like she legit, you know what, you learn everything, you learn all your products, you learn all the companies, what you want to do, right? And if you really want to do this again, you have to go out and sell it. So she never even sold on the. So I went to I practiced. A lot of people like, we have a lot of agents now who are saying like, it's difficult. I can't get myself to just go out there. For me, I could remember that first client that I was talking to.
Yeah.
Because I know my mom was there, so I knew if I said something wrong, she would, come and save me. But that whole fear of, what do I say? How do I even sell this? See, the things, I didn't have that mentality where I walk in and I know the client's already going to buy, or I know that this is going to be a sale. I never had that. I was just more of just testing this out.
It's more like, what if they say no?
What did they say no? Yeah, exactly.
No, the reason why I had that mentality, I gotta go back. It's this guy from LSW. I'll shout out his name. His name is Jason Choi.
Okay.
He worked for LSW, and he was the main sales rep, or not even rep. I think he's like a VP or something. Big guy.
Yeah.
He's the one who closed school districts, and he's the one who showed me how to do that here.
Oh, so that was your
training.
Yeah, that was one of my training. I remember now. And the reason why I had that mentality is because this guy would close anything.
Wow.
He's like,
he's like that typical guy, like you see walking, he's gonna close the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like this white dude at 6'1", like all suited up. Like he was just like serious. Every time he would come here to train. And I would just shadow him, and he was my shadow at that time.
Okay, yeah.
And we would go to like big places. I went to a board of directors meeting for like a chamber of commerce. He did a presentation there. I mean,
your experience is way different. Like you're not in like agency type, like what we're doing now. Like people come to you are part of an agency, but you are on the other.
Yeah, like I knew like the
you
other
got
side of it.
Yeah.
Like he showed me like we would do like teachers. He says there's only 15 minutes window, and he would show the whole presentation.
Wow.
And during that time, it was crazy. He was like, I would study it, and then he'll go, "Okay, it's your turn to do it," and I'll just be doing it in front of teachers.
Yeah, like for me, like I was kind of like in the middle because I don't know anything about product. I don't know anything about sales. But my mom is kind of like your mom. Like sometimes you're gonna go to a mall. And then my mom's not beside me anymore, but she's already
talking to me. That's my mom, man. That's my mom. Where'd she go?
Plus, like she's been in a business-minded person because her background is in accounting. Like you were talking about your childhood, like being like outside. That's your trip, right?
Yeah.
Like for us, like she's gonna take us to Bangkok, Thailand, Hong Kong, and we're like, oh, cool, out of the country. But it's not like because we're gonna be out there. She's gonna just like go around and then she's gonna do business. That's how we grew up.
That's cool, out of country.
Yeah, but for me, I don't look at it as a vacation. Like for my mentality at the time, because also I'm a middle child, so kind of like mature faster. My thinking was like, oh, it's just another business trip. It's not like family time or things like that, trip. Right? So that's why I don't kind of like what she's doing because I want to do different.
Yeah.
And then like at the time, like I guess my introduction to the business at the time, like I don't want to do this. Like I don't know it. Like remember you did a presentation. I wasn't paying attention because I don't understand that. Like I don't want it. So it came to a point like I said, my mom has been doing this, and then she's been doing trainings for our agents and stuff. And I kind of like saw like, why are you guys doing the same thing? And like nothing's changing. Right.
Yeah.
Same thing as networking. Like my mom has met a lot of networking guys, and my perspective was like, you guys are saying you're making money and things like that, but like you can't even afford to buy a suit, or you're not doing drive a car. Yeah. So how can you say like I'm making money?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So that was like kind of like my mentality. So just came naturally. Like, okay, mom, let me try to do the training. Like, let me try to do the PowerPoint. Like, I'll make my own PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of like your
Right.
side of the spectrum. Like, I kind of learned all of it,
Yeah, do I
and then I present it. Like, I do presentation. Like, same thing. Like, they're gonna ask question, and sometimes I don't know the answer, and my mom is in there. So there was that pressure as well, because like your mom has been doing that. So like, oh, I have to be on that standard,
Yeah.
So I cannot mess this up, So there was that pressure, and then eventually it came naturally. The first thing I did was I got my own policy, and then I analyzed that. Like, I'm trying to like destroy my own policy, so I know like how to answer those things,
Everything.
because that
That's a
was
good
my
one.
thinking as well too. Because like if I ask questions, somebody's gonna ask me, so I know how to answer that one. So that I kind of like developed, and then plus what I learned on my job on doing the trainings. I used to do like medication trainings. I have to assemble presentation and modules, things like that. That's what I do in my job. So I kind of like incorporated it on that one. So when I saw that, like, oh, basically this business, if you're a business owner, kind of like the CEO.
Yeah.
Right? So in my job, that was like my motivation too, is like, as an employee at the time, when they have like managerial meetings, so I'm not involved with them on the lower level. So they always go to a room and they close it and we have meetings. So like, I wonder like what they're talking on that side.
Yeah.
I want to be on that side. So like, I guess when you say something out there, it always happens, and that kind of what happened. Now I was part of that room, and then was doing that and things like that. So when I learned the corporate side, like, it's the same thing as in a business, right?
Yep.
It's just now you're not an employee, but more of like, how can you manage your team?
Yeah.
Right. You have to learn the product. You have to go through those things, and that's the thing I guess a lot of people doesn't see when they attend a BOP. That's why it's cool when we do the BOPs and stuff, because I was there,
Yeah.
on the backside. It's the same thing. Like, I don't have that experience, things like that. Like, I don't like this. I don't understand the product. Why would I do this?
Yeah.
Right. And then most of the time, and like, for example, like you were in nursing. That's what I know to do. Like, I don't know how to do visa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just something like spark for you that transfer down. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Like, hopefully people like learn from it,
Yeah.
right?
And my experience is different. Like, I even did American Equity. They sent me there. I got to the level of selling American Equity. Yeah, I did a lot of annuities during that time. This is before you guys. I was part of the $1 million table.
So what was along that time? What was like your big break? Like it sealed the deal, like.
So like there was like up and downs. Like in the beginning,
Yeah.
it was pretty tough because you're trying to make money. My first year, maybe I made like 15,000-20,000. That's like little, like my wife's like, what?
Yeah, you should have been going back.
Or like the next year was 60,000. It went up, but not a lot. What made me like go full on was one day, like I used to sell a lot of American Equity. I recruited somebody, and he was like maybe 2 legs. Oh, he's 3 levels below me, or 2 levels below me, and you during that time American Equity sent a check, and it's not directed to you. So I forgot if I still have the picture, but I made like a $60,000 override on that annuity sale.
Just like, because of that recruit.
I was like, what's this?
And that's why that's the thing is like we always say, and sometimes our agents doesn't understand that. What do you mean? Like you just have to find one recruit to change your life, and that was the person.
That person. That person was actually he was always like hitting like $2 million a year on sales, like minimum. But he left after that. He made me want to build.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, I'm gonna build.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sell.
So that's where you let off like the product, training
knowledge. Then I started going to Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy, all these motivational speakers. I wanted to learn how to speak better. I wanted to learn how to present. It wasn't product. It was just more of how do you act in front of a crowd? What do you exude your energy when you walk into a room? Like all these things.
Literally like learning that public speaking.
Yeah, like hand gestures. Like if you move your hand this way, like people will pay attention to your hand. or like if you do like a certain movement, negative words are the worst ones. Even if it's negative, make it a positive. Like, I agree, sir. Blah blah blah. Sales was like my biggest was when you talk to a husband and wife. Always make sure you agree with the husband, but the wife is correct. But you have to make sure that the husband looks like he's the one who made that idea. Because then if he feels like you're not stepping on his territory,
he's gonna feel like he's treading.
Yeah, he's gonna be threatened.
So that was a good thing that you brought it up, because that's actually like one of my topics that I want to ask you guys as well. I know we have like 10 minutes and we started kind of late, but we're almost there, right? So it's fast, right? When we're talking. So public speaking, like it wasn't easy. No, because you're gonna have that jitters, things like that. So how did you, like, for Fred kind of mentioned it. So for you, Ace, like how did you jump to that? Like, okay, I'm going to be out and I'm just talking.
I had the opportunity before already. This was back before I did FEG. Back when I was different companies, I would go ahead and just start speaking in front of crowds. But my whole thing here is before I started, I was kind of like thrown into what you would say, like thrown into the lion's den.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. And unfortunately, I bombed. I failed. I really failed my first one. And you could tell, like back, I always say it over and over again,
Is it you failed because you failed, or because people told you failed?
Oh no, it's like I was you couldn't understand what I was saying throughout the whole thing because I was just so nervous.
Gotcha.
And the people were just like, can we just get the next presenter next? Because I was just sweating everything. You couldn't see if you see my shirt. If you saw my shirt after the presentation, it was wet. Man. It was wet, man. I was shaking and my knees. And see, the thing is, if I didn't have that experience, I don't know how I could have gone better. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much like the lowest that I've gone.
Oh, you just want to get better.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way I can go lower than that, right? Unless I like fall as I walk up,
The most embarrassing
thing.
I care now.
Yeah, you're sweaty. Good thing I was wearing a suit. At least you don't have to see that. But see, my whole thing is it was just being thrown. So a lot of stuff that we do, when we ask someone, hey, can you just stand up and just say something like how like why are you doing this business? So for me, it was I wish that I was in that position even more.
Yeah.
Like I wish someone egged me on, someone pushed me. Hey, you should go up a little bit more, say a little more stuff because I'm always thrown there, But see, the thing is that was really cool for me. Like because I was thrown in there. There's
nothing worse.
That's rock bottom. Everything else is up, just keep getting better.
Yeah, for me too, is like I wasn't really thrown out there to do it. I just volunteered to do it.
Oh, see, okay. That's
but
good.
It was like it's a small group.
Yes.
Like, I already people that I know, it's not strangers, like they've seen me.
Yeah, I remember
he
the general or whoever, I forgot who told me. They're like, yeah, James is doing a training now. And I remember him barely talk to me.
Yeah, because that's a person that is like socialized.
Yeah, he didn't socialize me.
I don't.
The other guys more social. Yeah. The other guys, remember the other guys?
The other Navy guys.
Yeah, the Navy guys just kept talking to me. He barely talked to me, and then later on, like here, like a year later or two, he's doing.
It took a while, but for me, I don't know if you guys do it as well. Like after every presentation I do, even like people like think I'm used to it. I still, every time I'm going to drive back home, like I analyze like, what did I do?
Oh yeah.
Why did I say that?
Yeah.
Did I say these things? So at first, I was presenting, but I was kind of like the same as you, like more of like product training. So I want to switch, like, how can you make it not boring? It's too technical. Like for me, it makes sense. But when you see the people, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they get lost.
Yeah. So I kind of like that. And then, there's times like I was thrown out there, especially like at FEG events, like we just had to call you and present. Like at first I was making scripts, like things like that. But I kind of just learned like to wing it. Yeah. Like I don't write it. Because like I feel like I have to memorize it and it just kind of come out like you're memorizing it.
Yeah.
And it just makes me like sweat much more.
Yeah.
I might mess it up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that before, like, I think it was like our big break that they were asking us to talk to convention. That
Yes,
time, like,
yes.
Where he's like, oh, I have this notes and things like that. And it was that time, like, you can unlock your phone.
Oh man. Yeah, I can't even unlock my phone. That was
you guys actually started, and you guys got to speak in front of 1,000 of people. I didn't do that till like later because we didn't have that much big crowd.
Yeah, but at least you have that training. Like you go talk to like school, so you kind of like leveling it up.
Yeah.
But like when we were trolling, oh, you guys gonna be 5-minute speaker in where? Like convention.
Yeah, I mean, my whole notes were gone, and see that's a lot of stuff. Like one of the things I'm gonna share is back when I started FPG, a lot of stuff that I did is I would actually record myself on a presentation.
Yeah.
And exactly what you guys would do, you would analyze. I would actually on my way because at that time, we were actually here in where were we? Cerritos, I think, right? So was our like main area hub. And I used to live back over in Loma, so that was an hour drive. So you have to understand, like we were going late nights, going back. So every time we do a presentation for a client, I would just record myself, and on my way drive back home, I would actually listen to that recording. I'm being like, wait, I should have said that, or I should have said that better.
Yeah.
And that's what got me. But the thing is, being thrown to the lions then. That convention, I mean, even these small events that we do, like these, we used to do a lot of Super Saturdays.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually grateful that you guys did that because, again, like,
it gets
you to that level. Like, okay, I know what to say next time.
Yeah.
And then, I used to have a script. I made a script for so every time someone brings me up, I would memorize that script and I'd use that same thing over and over again. And then you get to a point where it's just like a training for myself. And actually, I'll share a secret that I do is I create a script. I memorize that script. So whenever I'm up, I say that script, but you kind of, since you memorize it, you just put it away.
Yeah.
Right. And you start to, as you use that script, you naturally just start to say extra stuff.
Yeah.
And it helps you public speaking wise. Well, it helped me because now you can be like, okay, give me a topic and then I can go talk about it. Up front.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really
one
cool.
thing too that I kind of learned, like I guess maybe somebody can learn from it too, is like you speak in front of people, like they don't know you.
They don't know you.
You messed up, you don't
They
care.
don't know if you're a presenter or not.
Yeah, you mess it up, they don't care. You know. But the good thing about messing it up is people can see it as real.
Yeah.
You know, that you're human, like nobody's reading. Like sometimes, of course, you got to do a speech, you have, impromptus, things like that. But if you make a mistake, like people know it comes, from real experience because it's real, right? So so like those experiences, like that's why, like I tell my team as well, when we call you, it's not because we want to embarrass you or something like that. It's just preparing you to do that. Because like I remember when I was starting too, like Fred will always call me like, oh, maybe share your experience, things like that. Like at first, like I don't understand what experience.
What experience?
I haven't even sold one. But you get to the point, like you get used to it.
Like, people, he got better all the time.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
come on up.
So that's that. And then since we're coming to an end, and this is something like I think I want to ask all the people that we're gonna interview as well, because for me, I still learn. Right?
Yeah.
That's why that's the purpose of when Ace and me talk about it, and we brought it up to you, is we want to learn from like your success. Like everybody has their different story, their path, or how they become successful. Right. Maybe someone was born into it, was good in sales, things like that. But now since you're like 800,000, you built an awesome team, you have a big agency now, you can talk about products while sleeping. Do you feel like you're successful already?
I feel like I'm not to that level yet. I still want a lot more. I feel like our team can definitely succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think our team they're not at the ceiling. We're still hungry. I feel like we just started. I feel like this is our prime years.
Mm-hmm.
This maybe in the next 5 years, this is gonna be a difference of what we make and difference of what we experience, because I want us to, and it's not just for me, because I feel like when you guys don't feel successful or you don't feel like this is you've made it, I don't feel like you've made it.
Yeah.
So like I don't feel like I've made it if you don't feel like that. So I definitely have a higher ceiling than this. This is just the beginning.
So what the last question will be like, how do you define success in your own?
Success on my own is being satisfied with what you given.
I have the same
Yeah,
definition of success.
yeah, it's because for me, everyone has a different satisfaction. Mine is I'm satisfied with every other factor of my life, but right now I believe my career, my goal in this field is just started. I mean, I want to leave a footprint in this industry. I want to leave a legacy for my kids and their kids.
Yeah.
Being this level is not going to be that.
Yeah.
You know how I look at Pacquiao. He's a legend. He's always going to be talked about. But he put himself to that level. I don't want to be in that.
And it's not stopping. You know?
Yeah, and he's still.
How about you, Ace? Like, how do you define your success?
See, for me, like, people ask us, like, do you feel successful right now? No, I don't. For how I define success specifically is when I've given it my all, right? When I've given it my all, that's what I determine success. And right now, I feel like, even though I've gotten to a point where I never thought that I would do 400,000, right? I'm thinking, okay, if I work as a nurse, I can make my 6 figures, and I'm capped there unless I do like multiple jobs, right? Be part of like director or some type of management. And a lot of people, what they say is like, if you're part of that 400,000 mark, you're technically part of the 1%, right? But I don't feel like I'm there. Like, I don't feel like I feel like it's just like it's like it's as if I'm just scratching something, right? It's like I haven't given it everything yet. So I want to get to a point where people will finally say like, hey, Ace did this during his time. Like that's success.
Yeah.
Like when people start talking about you, of course, when people start talking about you, people start saying different things about you, right? But the whole thing about you getting attention about, hey, you've done this, I feel like that's success.
Yeah. See, it's the same as for me, like you said, it's satisfaction. I've heard many times, like, when you say you succeed in this business, it's the day you stop learning, so like you said, you're just scratching the surface. I remember that when one of the presentation of Petro, somebody asked him, like, how does it feel to be a millionaire or a CEO? Like, you wake up the next morning, it's still the same. It's still the same, right? Nothing has changed. Yeah, your money went up, but it's still the same person.
Yeah.
But I guess that makes us humble too, because you're not saying, successful because you're still hungry for that next
Still
thing.
hungry.
But the thing is also, like, we're not saying, we're not grateful, and 100K is good, 200K is good, 300K is good. We're grateful and appreciative on those things. But the thing is, I don't still feel like I'm successful, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we take time to appreciate our own and acknowledge all those, milestones that we have. Like when you hit your 400,000, like, cool, great, right?
Yeah.
But I came to a point too, like, okay, we get 100K, and like you said, people will say things and appreciate you, things like that. But the next morning is like, I feel like it's the same. Like, you don't get your 100K.
Yeah.
You just do it again.
Yeah.
But for me, like, is the success that I see is if like you said, you see your team succeed, right? If you see somebody's life change, at least you add value to them and you were part of it, right?
Yep.
So that's something that is, something you can treasure, that's the legacy that I guess we want to leave to our team, is that, at least we made an impact, but it's not 100% us, it's them.
It's them.
Just the one who kind of like pushed them.
Yeah.
So for me, success is like that as well. Success is more, I don't want to, it kind of sounds wrong. I don't want to be successful, but the thing is, I want to be successful, but in the sense, I don't want to see that I'm successful, so that I can always strive for more, so at least you can learn more.
Yeah.
Right. Because every day is a new day. And that's why our focus now is going to, we have other people so we can see their success story. We can learn from there. I still learn, I still learn from the people. That's why I ask people, that's why we train people to do BOP, because I want to learn how to do BOPs.
Yeah.
So that's that. So hopefully you guys like the podcast. It's been a great first start. So
How many people do we have?
I'm not sure. Let me see. So I know we kind of late to start. We're still figuring things out, but it's good to have you guys. I know some of them already
Is there
left.
one, Karen?
I don't know.
Maybe it's your wife.
Maybe.
Just making sure you're not saying things. So you guys gonna be growing with us with this podcast and learning. We're just gonna try it for Zoom, but hopefully soon we'll
We'll
change
be
the
on. Yeah,
platform.
we'll change new platform.
We're gonna have nice more gears, things like that.
Yeah, we'll have some special guests.
But please,
Yeah.
please give us your feedback, because we're doing this because we like it, and also because you guys like it. So
Do we have a guest speaker next week?
Yeah, we have a guest speaker.
yeah, we'll have a guest speaker next week again, so we can interview them and you can learn from their
You guys
stories.
not announce it or
No, no,
not?
it'll be a surprise.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys want to leave like feedbacks or maybe what
Give us suggestions.
or,
Yes,
or
yes,
questions like
Suggestions. We're gonna create. We do like that fishbowl
you guys can
thing.
try it and then leave it to
Leave in the office.
Yeah,
Then
you
we'll
know.
pick it up, and then that's one topic we can also discuss.
definitely.
Yeah.
And the goal about this one, like you saw the flyers that we posted, Ace actually created that one. It's all about entrepreneurship, inspiration, and value. So it's not just gonna be like product insurance. Things
Correct,
Like that.
that's
it's
correct.
more real life. Yeah, we here and there might be talking about products, especially gonna pick Fred's brain. But it's not gonna be like more real talk. Right?
Yes.
So our goal is gonna be that. So when you drop topics, something like that, it can be lifestyle. Somebody might ask us questions in real life, or experiences, or maybe something that's product. So yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys.
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right. That was
Right.
awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye. Love you all.